Hello and welcome to the 8th episode. Today I made some audio and video setting changes in OBS, so hopefully you should see and hear both audio and video quality improvements. If this is the first video you're watching from my channel, I would like to note that my videos are not, at least so far, haven't been full-on tutorials. They're more of a documentation of my homelab journey. What I mean by that is I film as I do things, so I expect to make mistakes. Some of those mistakes I fix in the same video, and some of them I will be fixing in follow-up videos like you will see today. So in this video, first I will fix some mistakes and oversights that I have done in the previous videos, and then I will follow with installing OpenMediaVault on top of Proxmox. I will do some initial setup and configuration of OpenMediaVault, but I will not go into SATA controller pass-through yet. I think I will do that in the following videos because this one will probably be long enough for one episode. All right. So in the last episode, I installed and configured NGINX Proxy Manager, and I added the first two services to the list. I forgot to add NGINX Proxy Manager itself's administrative panel, so I did that off camera. It became proxy.myhomelabjourney.com, and it's pointing to port 81. Now let's start with fixing some mistakes and oversights. Now, if you watched the previous video, you probably saw me get, one moment, Proxmox. Yeah, surprised when I added proxmox.myhomelabjourney.com into the list, and then I went to it and Proxmox opened because I was expecting some issues. And there are some issues, but the issues are related to web console for both the VMs and also the Proxmox node itself. In its current form, if I go to proxmox.myhomelabjourney.com, I cannot access the shell via the web GUI. And that's because WebSocket is not enabled in the NGINX Proxy Manager entry. So I have had this issue in my previous tiny small home lab as well, and I had forgotten about it. And if you enable WebSocket support, because that's needed for the web console, that should fix the issue. If I do enter, yep, you can see the login, right? Perfect. Now, another thing I wanted to change in the Proxmox node itself is the host name. If I do nano/etc, not host name, actually hosts, you will see that my fully qualified domain name currently is shown as pluto.home.arpa. That's what I set when I initially installed Proxmox. And back then I didn't have my domain name yet. So that's why I used home.home.arpa, and that is an advised domain name to use if you do not have a proper domain name. And if I do hostname-f, you will see that this is what I see as my FQDN, right? But to keep things like consistent and correct, I will etc hosts and change this FQDN to my real domain name. Save. And if I do hostname-f, I now see my proper FQDN. And I will also actually copy this and add it as an extra domain name. So in parallel to proxmox.myhomelabjourney.com, I would also like to have pluto.myhomelabjourney.com as well. So if I need to, I can use both of them. All right, perfect. Now, the next thing I would like to fix is I have severely misunderstood the sockets and cores when I created NIX VM. So in my mind, I associated socket with cores and cores with threads in the CPU. So my AUStar VTR Pro has AMD, I think it's Ryzen 5 5825U, and that CPU has 8 cores and 16 threads in total. So I used that logic to get like 4 threads in total, but that apparently is wrong. Sockets in Proxmox relate to physical CPUs on motherboard. Most of server motherboards and some commercial motherboards as well have multiple CPU sockets, and sockets in this case like correspond again to the physical CPUs, right? And I have only one CPU, so I was supposed to use one socket and then 4 cores instead of this. So I will do that, but I think I need to kind of edit it right away, but that will probably take effect after restarting. So I will just simply shut down this machine, this VM. And because I shut it down, I will not be able to use this domain name, as NGINX Proxy Manager will not be working. So I will use Proxmox's IP address for it, right? The machine is shut down, and I will go into hardware, edit 1, and then I will actually give it 6 cores. So with Proxmox, you can kind of overassign CPUs if you want to. So I have in total 16 threads available, and throughout all of my, in total, all of my VMs, I can assign to them something like 20, 24. I wouldn't go higher than that, but I can assign like probably 20. And it will probably be fine because most of the services do not utilize the CPU to the fullest, and CPU usage is most of the times is actually low. Of course, there are some cases when some service uses like a lot of CPU, then that might become a problem. But in my case, I don't have that many services yet, so 6 cores is totally fine. I could go even to 8, but I think 6 is fine. Now, while the machine is off, I would like to also make change to the memory as well. So if you go into memory and hit advanced, you will see that there's a ballooning device, and I will disable ballooning. So with Proxmox, what ballooning does is Proxmox takes an unused RAM from your VM if necessary to allocate it elsewhere if necessary, right? In theory, it sounds good, but in practice, this can bring instability to the system. And I am disabling ballooning because I have 64 gigs of RAM. This machine is using 16 gigs, this VM, and the NAS VM that I'm going to be creating, I will give it like 4 gigs, right? So I will be using in total like 20 gigs of RAM, and I will still have like 44 gigs of RAM available. So I'm fine in terms of RAM, and I can safely disable ballooning. Now, I said earlier that you can kind of overassign CPUs, but I would not advise overassigning memory. You should be assigning what you have, and I wouldn't even like assign all of the 64 gigs to all of the services because Proxmox itself also needs RAM to run, right? So you should be assigning less, a little bit less than what you have in total. All right, ballooning disabled, and I can go ahead and start this machine. All right, the VM is up and running again, and I can switch back to, let's say, Proxmox, my homelab, not proxy, Proxmox, my homelabjourney.com. Perfect. Now I can go ahead with OpenMediaVault. Now I chose, I haven't used OpenMediaVault before, but I chose it for my NAS solution. There are other NAS tools, NAS operating systems available as well. I haven't used them also, but I know of Unraid, TrueNAS, and etc. But I chose OpenMediaVault because both TrueNAS and Unraid also have kind of like Proxmox capabilities. What do I mean by that? Like in, for example, TrueNAS and Unraid, you can create Docker containers and etc., which I don't need because Proxmox does those for me, right? So I need only NAS solution, NAS operating system, which OpenMediaVault apparently does pretty nicely. You can download it from their own website. You can go into download and then get the latest stable version. I got it and I have already downloaded it. And in my case, it was 8.0.4. Before I create the VM, I need to add the ISO. Last time was Ubuntu server, I downloaded it from the URL. And this time I'm gonna upload it because I have already downloaded it before. Let's upload. Okay, upload completed. Perfect, the name is here as well. I can go to create VM. Now I will assign a node, Pluto, I have only one node, and I will assign it VM ID 2. For name, I'm gonna use Charon. Charon is I still don't know how it's pronounced. Charon is the biggest moon of Pluto, which corresponds with NAS because that's gonna have the most storage in my home lab. It's half the size of Pluto itself, by the way. And OS, I'm gonna use the ISO image, OpenMediaVault. Gonna keep the same everything default. Chemo agent, I will add it afterwards because OpenMediaVault is based on top of Debian, and I can just do like this apt-get install chemo agent. I don't know if I need to add it, but I will probably install it as well. System, okay. So disk space, I'm gonna give it 64 gigs of RAM. I haven't populated the NAS base yet. Drives are out at the moment. So this is just for the boot drive itself, for the OpenMediaVault operating system itself, right? I'm not going to be adding any cache drive or partition or whatever because the OpenMediaVault boot drive is going to be living on the NVMe, and I have only one NVMe at the moment, and that is being controlled by Proxmox. As far as I understand, in this case, adding it as a cache doesn't make sense because it would make sense if OpenMediaVault were to be able to control it like NVMe pass-through, but because I'm not passing through NVMe, cache doesn't make sense, right? I'm gonna enable discard. So I did look into like what discard does because I knew that you should be enabling discard, especially if you have NVMe, and apparently enabling discard tells the storage system when blocks inside the virtual disks are no longer in use, allowing host to reclaim that physical space. I'm, by the way, reading it, which is crucial for SSD performance, longevity, and effective theme provisioning. Essentially, enabling it ensures that when the guest operating system frees space, the underlying storage, like LVM thin or ZFS, shrinks the disk image, preventing storage bloat and improving efficiency. So yeah, I'm gonna be enabling it. For CPU, I think I'm gonna use like 2 cores, and that should be fine. I can always come back and increase it if necessary. And for memory, 4 gigs of RAM. Network, I'm gonna, let's, ballooning. Yeah, let's disable ballooning immediately. And network, I can untick the advanced. I'm not gonna touch network portion and finish. I'll wait until the question mark is gone. Perfect. I guess I can go ahead and start the machine. Well, I always say machine, but it's VM. Let's start the VM. Okay, let's go into console, install. English as the language, United States as the location, American English as the keyboard layout. All right, the host name, I'm gonna do Sharon. And the domain name is part of your internet address to the right of your host name. Okay, let's use my home lab journey. myhomelabjourney.com. Perfect, continue. I don't think I will be able to immediately access it with like charon.myhomelabjourney.com because yeah, that is being controlled with, managed with NGINX Proxy Manager. All right, root password. Let me generate something with my password manager. Password generated. Can I copy paste into here? I doubt it. No, I cannot. So I will have to type it in. And for my passwords, I always use random passwords for each service, and I try to never reuse any passwords anywhere. And I highly advise it to do it even if it's like inconvenient, like in this case where I have to type it in, and it's like 20-digit alphanumeric value. Okay, password typed in. Let's go ahead. Oh my god, re-enter the password. Let's hope I typed it in correctly. Enter. Perfect. Select your time zone, Central. So far, the installation process is pretty fast. It's pretty okay. Well, it should be. It's essentially Debian, so it shouldn't take too much time. Configuring grub PC, device for bootloader installation. Yep, the one that we signed via Proxmox. Okay, installation seems to be completed and it wants to reboot. Continue. Excellent. Installation seem. Oh, okay, it's back up and running. To manage the system, visit OpenMediaVault Workbench. Oh, I have the IP address 192.168.1.187. 87. Let's see. Okay. What username password? Root. Oh, well, wait. I did add the password. Let's try it. Let me copy it. Nope. Maybe admin. No. Oh, okay. they give it to you here. So the username is admin and the password is OpenMediaVault. This is the default. All right. So before I do anything, it gave me the IP address 187, and I want it to be consistent with the VM ID. So what I will do is I will shut down this machine, power it off. I will go into my router settings and assign 102 ending IP address to this machine and then restart it. I'll do that off camera. I staticalized 102 assignment to this VM, and if I start it again, the new IP address should be 102. It still says 187. Let me try it with 187. Well, okay, it didn't give one. What happens if I do 102? Maybe I did it too fast. Let me shut it down again. Shut down, confirm, yes. At the moment, I am double checking the MAC addresses to make sure it is correct. Yes, it is correct. So hopefully this time it should start with the correct IP address. It doesn't want to, yeah, it doesn't want to work for some reason. Let me try assignment again and see what happens. Okay, I staticalized it again, but I'm not gonna restart yet. Let's proceed with something else and then I can do it again. Welcome to OpenMediaVault. No documentation. Let's YOLO it. Dashboard has not been configured. Personalize it. Go to settings page. Enable widgets. Can I? Yeah. Let's enable everything. Perfect. And what do we have? Memory total 4 gigs for 410 megabyte is currently being used. Perfect. Update management. Okay, let's see. Let's see the settings first. Updates. Install security updates. Excellent. Release updates. Install updates from community. Maintain updates. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the defaults in here. Let's go into updates. Okay, we have some packages. Confirm. Yes. All right, updates seem to have completed. What else can we do? Notifications, no notifications, help, all. User settings, oh, dark mode, yes. Let's not burn our eyeballs. And change password, yeah. Let me, again, generate something new. generated and copied. Control V, Control V, save. Perfect. And let's reboot again and see if the IP address sticks now. No, it's still stuck with 187. Why though? Okay, I will probably cut out vast majority of my attempts in getting this OMV picking up 102 as the IP address, because most of them failed. I tried a lot of things. I even tried like assigning static IP through the OMV-first aid, and then switching back to DHCP so it gets the 102. That didn't work as well. I tried going into hardware, network, and then this MAC address used to end in 63. Then I changed it to 64. When I booted the machine up again, it was not showing anything, like no IP address, no interface, or no IP address assignment to this interface. So I then again like configured it to pick it up from DHCP, and it again got 187. In the end, what worked is I staticalized it through my router one more time to 102, and then I rebooted my router itself. And now the machine is up and running, and at least in the greeting page, it's showing me 102. Let's try it. And perfect, it's working. Okay, I'm guessing the problematic part was my router itself. And once I restarted the router, it picked 102 automatically. Now, as the last step, I am going to create the entry in NGINX Proxy Manager. Let's call this charon.myhomelabjourney.com. And then I will also do nas.myhomelabjourney.com as well, both of them. Scheme HTTP, I think it was HTTP, and IP address 102, port 80. And then let's go into custom locations, SSL, force SSL, HTTPS 2, and let's say yes, and let's try. So Charon opens up. Do I have HTTPS? I do. And NAS also opens up. Perfect. Now, while I was trying to get the 102 working, I actually went into, let's start with NICs. In one of the videos when I had only this machine, I talked about like the order in which I want my VMs to boot up, right? And let's do it with Charon first. So what I will probably do is create some network attached shares, let's say directories, and I will mount them to the different services in the NICs VM. And to that end, I probably want Charon to start up first, and then after a little bit of time, my NICs VM to start up as well, so that when these services start up, they already have the access to the mounted directory, right? So to that end, you need to go into start shutdown order, edit, and whatever number you go, like the lowest number starts first, right? So here it's 1. And while at it, I also like made sure that it starts at boot. And apart from that, I also enabled Kimu guest agent from here as well. And in the next machine, I set the order to 2, and then as a startup delay, I did 60. And that should be it. All right, as a recap, we installed OpenMediaVault, staticalized IP assignment. I also created the entry in the NGINX video, NGINX Proxy Manager, and that probably should be enough for this video, right? In the next one, I will populate the NAS base with Iron Wolf drives that I have, and then pass through the first group of the SATA controller to it so that OpenMediaVault can control all those drives directly. All right, this is my home lab journey so far. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one.